So I picked up this NuCast G5, LNER G5, North Eastern Railway Class O tank engine from an antiques auction just a week ago. It's arrived, and obviously you can see that it's pre-built. The body is pretty much as it arrived. Whoever built the body, I think to be fair, has done a pretty reasonable job. It looks pretty good to my eyes. Can't think there's anything much wrong with it. Well, roof's loose, but apart from the roof, which we can sort that out. Everything seems nice and straight, nicely finished off. Quite pleased with that. I've done a couple of mods to the body. Put a vacuum cylinder on there, and I've also put a front handrail on the front of the smoke box, which was missing, or didn't exist, and 3 lamp irons on top of the front buffer beam. But apart from that, I think whoever's built the body's done a good job. It's quite a nice little thing. My challenge is to decorate it. I want to get some etching primer. The chassis, however, was a lot worse. I've been working on it for the last few days. Basically, I got myself in high-level kits, gearbox and motor. It came with some chunky number. Yeah. Came with that, but it that is too fat for the chassis. It was just never going to work. It kept binding up. So yeah, no, I'll save that for something else. So, high-level kits, motor and gearbox fitted, works well. I've added brakes and brake rods, because that was non-existent. As you can see, I have fitted a hardwired decoder, in this case it's the HM7000. I've yet to put a sound file on there. Comes with the standard A3 out of the packet. I'll probably end up using the 2P sound file or something like that. But I want to get the whole thing up and running first, in terms of body shell decorated and on, before I change the sound file. And the only other thing as well I did was quite a bit of work on the rear bogie. Originally that rear bogie is just pivoting on a hole in the spacer there, but I've put it on a trailing arm. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an arm and it's bolted to the spacer there. So a trailing arm back to here, and it slides that way. I've fitted a couple of guitar string spring effects to it to make sure it keeps it centered as it swivels. That seems to work quite well. That modification, this will go around second radius curves no bother, which is basically where I've got my layout, second and third radius. The only other thing I've added is a few bits of red rods in there, just you can see through the gap under the boiler through there. It's just nice to see a bit of the valve gear and the connecting rods, as would be. So it's just a little piece of interest, really, bit of decoration. And I've painted the connecting rods red, because this particular version of the Class O has got the bunker extension, and it doesn't have the safety valve trumpet. Instead, it's got the two separate safety valves. So really, it's been built to be LNER decorated version of the G5 rather than NER. But my preference is going to be for NER. So I'm going to paint it black. I'm going to give it NER black with red lining. And North Eastern across the bunkers, across the tanks, livery, which is probably not strictly true, but I feel like with the bunker extension and the separate rust pump safety valves, it should probably have been an LNER black or a BR black. So I will paint it black, but when I've got a North Eastern Railway locomotive, it's going to be a North Eastern Railway livery. In which case, paint it black, red lining, North Eastern on the tanks, number plates on the coal bunker. That's the plan. I've got etch primer arriving tomorrow, so I should be able to get going with that. Wish me luck.
Just a quick follow-up to the first part of the video. I've now got the body shell painted. I've yet to put the transfers or decals on. I've then varnish it after that. But primed, painted black, got all the lining done that I want to do, including boiler bands. The boiler bands are Fox transfers. The brass one at the edge of the smoke box is a little sliver of brass sheet cut very thinly. But all the lining on the tanks, bunker, the footplate, and the steps I did myself by hand using a lining pen or freehand for some of the curves. And I'm quite chuffed with how that's turned out, to be fair. Not bad for a first effort. I'll be doing transfers next, and then it'll get sealed with satin varnish. I'll try and use matte varnish on the smoke box. This is my second attempt at painting this body shell, because the first one went completely wrong. When I applied the varnish, all the paint peeled off, which was really strange. Anyway, new type of primer, new type of gloss black paint I should say. So hopefully when I varnish this one, we don't get all the paint crinkling off. Okay, onwards and upwards.
And now the finished article. The body's been varnished, the transfers have been applied, North Eastern and the logo, the etched number plates have been added to the bunker. I've used satin varnish over the body, but we've got matte varnish on the smoke box and chimney. And I think the effect, well, I'm happy, so it's looking good. Let's get on the track, see how she runs. So I'm doing a voiceover with a headset, hence the sound of the voice is probably changed. Hopefully it comes across okay. The North Eastern coaches that you see running, first one is a ratio kit, followed by 2 triang clerestories, and then finally a triang goods van, bogie goods van. They've all been resprayed in North Eastern Crimson Lake, transfers applied, and satin varnished. I'm quite pleased with the way they've turned out. You'll also see the locomotive stutters on points. I'm actually running it with just a little Zimo decoder at the moment. I've had problems with the Hornby sound decoder. It's not liking the cordless motor that is running this. But I shall have a fiddle with the CVs, see if we can get it running. Okay, other than that, I'm really chuffed with the way this thing's turned out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Many thanks.